Hello, my name is Nancy Young, and welcome to another episode of Your Voice Matters with Nancy Young, a program highlighting the positive voices within our local communities. Now, before we get started today, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. Today, we'll be talking about highlighting your voice through song. My guest today is from Tracy, California. Her name is Demeda Jo Smith. Demeda Jo Smith is a native of Oakland, California, but she lives here now in Tracy with her husband. She is a hard-hitting, powerful, and soulful contemporary gospel singer, and gospel is truly what she does. To hear her sing is a gift, but to see her perform is like the seventh wonder of the world. She definitely ministers from her heart and soul. The energetic way Dr. Demeda Jo sings, performs, and dances across the stage while ministering in song, she has been given the title of the Tina Turner of gospel music. This new project that came out called Just Me is a CD that will bless you. Today we'll be talking to her about her song, her CD, about her life. At this time, help me welcome Demeda Jo. Hi. All right, you're welcome. Thank you. Thanks for joining me today. So today we want to talk about how your voice matters through song, through your music. So let's just back up a bit, all the way back to, to the beginning, as far as how were you inspired to start singing?
I wanted to sing ever since I was little. My favorite singers were Gladys Knight and Patti LaBelle. I think Patti LaBelle was my best because I like how she did the performance. So a lot of times when I sing, especially at praise and worship, I do a lot of dancing in my singing. But I've always wanted to sing since I was little. About 3 years old, I would sing in the song Michael Jackson, ABC. I would sing that. So I've always wanted to sing. I couldn't sing that well, but I wanted to do it.
Okay, yeah, Patti LaBelle has a lot of energy in her performance. Gladys is kind of chill, but she's good. But she's a little more chill with the pips, especially. So, since you were about 3 years old, so where did you get your start singing? Did you just start singing in the community, or where were you?
In church, just in church, in Oakland, in church. I just started singing in the choir. Was afraid to basically lead songs, but always sang in the background in the choir. So and they would always say I would sing everybody's part. So I wouldn't sing soprano, alto, or tenor. I sing them all. Whatever I felt like, I would just sing them. And I just sing, but I sang them well, but I just sing them. I'd sing everybody's part, but just sing them well.
Take over, but not the lead though.
Huh?
But not the lead.
Not the lead. I was afraid to do the leads. I didn't do lead until I got married. And then I decided, well, we had the church. We started the church. And then doing that, I would do praise and worship. So just to help, because we needed the help. So I would just do that to help out. So I started doing leads then, actually doing the whole praise and worship by myself. So that's where it started. And I got the courage to actually do leads that way. It taught me to do leads and to get in there and sing by yourself. So that's what taught me to do that. So I think I was about 28, 29 years old.
Oh, wow. So years later before you actually began to do the lead.
Right.
So you weren't doing leads like in school plays, musicals, or any of that growing up?
I would not do it. I would stay in the background in the school choir. I stayed in the background in the church choir. I stayed in the background, but the church was a little different because they could hear you and it's more personable. So they would pull you out. So I would do very small little leads in the church choir, but I still wouldn't get out there on my own and expound on doing leads by myself.
When you were in your late 20s, you began singing because out of necessity, first of all, for your church. And so that's how you started getting the boldness to step out. So then it shifted at some point where you broke out with your own album, Just Me. So at that point, how did that happen?
Everybody, because I kept singing in church, and when we go to different churches, they would want you to sing a solo, and I think they would invite the pastor just so I could sing. That's what I would always say. But I would sing so much, and everybody kept saying, "Do your own album, do your own CD. When you gonna make your own music?" So that had been going for years, and so finally we just decided to say, "Okay, let's do this." And a lot of things that I had went through, we put in the music, and so that's how it came. It took a long time to make, because that first album, I think we came out with that in 2012.
Mhm.
So we started working on it in 2008. So we came out with it in 2012, and it was a beautiful first project, very, very great project. And now I'm working on this second project
Okay.
that's even longer.
When did you start working on that one?
The second project I started on 5 years ago. So now but I'm finished. I just got to clean up some stuff and it's done. So, and I think it's titled Still Standing.
Still standing. Okay. I'm still standing. That's a great title. So,
Yeah.
did you find out when you were singing at all the different churches that you put your own flavor and your own changes on just songs that were already out there?
Yeah. Well, first of all, let's get this straight about me. I don't remember words to nothing. I don't remember words. So when I sing a song, I probably will change some stuff because I can't remember the words. So I'll add a little flavor to me and how I do it. I may even minister and preach doing a song while I'm singing it. So yeah, I kind of make it my own flavor. And of course, I'm gonna dance a little bit through a song. Yeah.
So the words of songs, I know songs have a meaning. The words should convey something. And so
Right.
when you're creating do you write your own songs? Your own, or do you have somebody else writing it for you?
Pastor Smith writes them.
Okay.
That's right. Only there's one song that I helped write and wrote with him, and that was the song on that album cover you have in your hand, called "In the Morning."
Okay.
That song, because of the things that I had went through in that song, and it talks about, because I was molested in the church by the pastor. So just that, and you don't know what to do when that happens and who to talk to or something like that. So that song depicts of in the morning, it's going to be all right, because you contemplate there's people contemplating so many things, suicide, even right now what we're going through with this coronavirus. So many people are hurt and scared. So in the morning came out of all those different things, being molested, people talking about you after that happened, because of course they're going to be on the pastor's side because he is, quote, the man. So people, do you bad in the church, and hurt you in the church. There's all that church hurt come out of that. And so in the morning shows that don't worry about it. Everything's going to be better in the morning. You don't have to worry about committing suicide. Something different's going to change in the morning. So that's where that song came out of.
I did notice listening to the words of that, because I grew up directing choirs. So my sisters and told me to stay in the background. That's a whole nother story. Um, but as far as the words, I had to learn the words, because in order to direct them, I needed to know the words, the song.
Right.
So I learned very early to have an ear to listen to not just the melody of the song, but the words, the content, the story within it. And so one of the things that you do mention in your song, you don't just come out and say that you're molested, but you talked about when you were a little girl, someone touched you. And so I had to really listen to that to see what that meant. And at the same time, but you talked about, but God healed you and you're able to come through that. And so one of your taglines is, dry your eyes, don't you cry, it'll be all right.
Right. In the morning.
And so, and then you do a whole section where it's just keep on praising him. And so one of the things that you said I want to talk about, it says, when you feel like you don't have a song.
Right. Nothing's inside of you.
So what is that for you? What does that mean when you feel like you don't have a song?
When you feel like there's nothing you can do, nowhere you can go, no place to turn to, you got to just keep on praising the Lord. You got to keep giving it to him, because it's going to be a brighter day. If we just keep on praising him, keep on going, it's going to be a brighter day in the morning. That's where it's going. That's what I was talking about. You may not have a voice. Nobody may not even understand what you're trying to say or do, or what happened, or whatever your situation is. just keep on praising him.
Okay. That's important to be able to find that song, to have that
Yeah.
song within you when it seems like nobody else cares, nobody else understands
Right.
what you're feeling. And yeah, it's interesting how places that should be a safe place can become a place that's not safe, and where
Right.
becomes very judgmental, and
Right.
instead of trying to help. And so right now I think that even through that song, I'm sure it's ministered to many people to be able to touch
Yes.
of
You,
many.
you know what? One time I was on the radio in Texas, and they had played that song, and they were interviewing me while I was at the radio station, and someone called in, and he had talked about, he wanted to talk to me actually. So they put him on the phone, me on the phone with him, and he was contemplating suicide because he felt, I guess he was living a different style life,
Mhm.
and he was contemplating suicide. And just by talking to me and listening to that song, it just all totally changed for him. And he thanked me for that song, even for God just putting that in our spirits just to present to the world, because it's going to touch somebody, because everybody goes through something. Something happens to you somewhere, somehow or another.
Right. But you say a lot in that song, just like you say, the storm won't last always. It's not
Right.
going to always last. And so even what we're going through right now with the COVID-19, this coronavirus has, really shifted a lot of things in people's lives. And, how is that affecting you at all personally?
Well, only I'm not one of those ones to stay home. I'm sorry. I'm not. So, but the only problem I have, my parents, they're all, I want to say, Mom, I'm not talking about you, but they're all old. uh, you know, and I know they're more at risk than I am. So I have to be careful. But what we do is she has a bottle of alcohol at the door. And when we walk in, she sprays us from head to toe, front and back with alcohol, 99% alcohol. And then she
99.9.
she does what is that stuff called? Microban. It lasts 24 hours. And she sprays us with that. But other than that, we've been okay. It hasn't totally affected us like that. I just worry that my son, he's out, he's still working. And my other son is all the way in North Carolina. So I worry about him being safe. And that's all. But other than that, we're safe and we're protected. It just stops us from fellowshipping with the church people. We can't see them, and the people you love, you can't visit them and do what you need to do. But other than that, we're all pretty safe.
Okay. I found that lately, a lot of people are more connected through the internet, through those kind of means. Do you find yourself connected more that way to your family, especially those that are not nearby you?
Well, my mom, my sister, and like I said, my son, they moved away they lived in Tracy, but they just moved away. And we've been doing FaceTime. Thank God for FaceTime. We've been doing FaceTime with my sister since she left about 2 or 3 years ago. And my son left about 6 months ago. So we've been doing FaceTime. So it's been normal. That was the normal for us. So when this COVID-19 came in, it didn't change anything for us. It just was normal because they had already moved away, and we didn't FaceTime or do that with anybody else, just them. So it kind of didn't affect us in that area. I think the COVID-19 just affects, I'm upset because Ross is not open and Macy's is not open. That's about all it got me for. And New York and Company, because that's where I shop, New York and Company. But I'm affected by that. But other than that, everything else is okay. And we just pray that everybody else stays safe.
Yeah, that's the most important thing, that we're healthy. And so sadly, yeah, some of our retail things that we can't just run to like we normally would
Yeah.
are closed right now. And so
Yeah.
I'm in-person shopper. I like
Me
to,
too.
I mean, it's just from our era. I like to try on things. Stuff got to talk to me. Like, come get me. And then I'm like, hey.
I like to see it and feel it in person. I may not try it on. I might go take it home and bring it back if I have to, but I like to touch it and feel it and see how it actually looks. But Amazon has been my friend.
People are busy. People are busy still with Amazon. One of my sons works for Amazon. He's still working.
Okay, good. I'll keep him employed.
All right. All right. So how do you feel that your songs are an extension of your voice? Is it something that you can do through song that it's more difficult to do just talking to people?
Well, the reach is different because a lot of people, if I go somewhere to sing live, people can't all get to you and say thank you or hug you or know you, but they can know you through your song, or they can find me through Facebook and message me or send me a message. But the songs, if I'm out singing and I sing a song that touched someone, they may come up to me and say something, or how it affected them, or how they felt when I sang it, or what they were going through when they heard it. So that's a better reach than me actually talking. And even to me, ministering by preaching, that song reaches people to me more than the word, because people can hear that differently. And a lot of people don't understand the word when you come straight out of the Bible, but they can understand it better through a song, because that's what we feel, the rhythm and the beat and the words that we sing. People can understand that a little better and feel it. Then the word comes in and clean it all up.
All right. Yeah. I mean, as you were saying that, I could just imagine just the melody, the music, the rhythms kind of just like massages it in, to
Right.
our heart and our mind of how we receive things. And so, and sometimes just knowing that other people have experienced the same things or similar is encouraging.
Yes.
So at this moment, we're going to take a break, and we're going to actually watch you sing that song in the morning from your CD. All right.
All right. All right.
Come in the morning, weeping endures for a night. Joy's gonna come in the morning, weeping endures for a night. Joy's gonna come in the morning. Dry your eyes, it will be all right in the morning. Dry your eyes, it will be all right in the morning. The morning, weeping endures for a night. Joy's gonna come. Joy's gonna come in the morning. Weeping endures for a night. Joy's gonna come. Joy's
Thank you so much for that. We did talk about the song a little bit before and some of the content of that song. Is there anything else on this album, the Just Me, besides the testimony song that you have of In the Morning, that really is special to you?
The title song, Just Me. That song, I should have just featured that one more because it talks about just being you and just doing you, just me.
Right, just me, that's important though, that message is being you and being able to, not try to be anyone else and just be authentically you, because that's the best person that you can actually be.
Yeah, I'm good at being me. When I try to change, I know I'm gonna say this, but I know being in the church and a leader in the church, people want you to be somebody else, and that makes it hard for you. And I tried to adjust myself to do that for them, and it still wasn't appreciated. So I said, I'm just gonna go back to being me. What, hey. So it's hard to do that. So I would say never change being who you are, because it's not gonna work. It's never gonna work.
Right. The thing is that no matter what you do, you're not going to please everybody.
Right.
So it's one thing I had to make up in my mind years ago that, you know what, I'm just going to try to please God. Just try to be the best me that I can be. And whoever loves that, hey, that's how it's going to be.
That's how it's going to be.
Yeah. All right, and just me. So let's talk now about some other things that you're doing in the community. So one of the things, you work with your mom on a food bank. So tell me about.
It's the Hills Foundation Food Bank, and we were running it out of the church, and we give to the whole community. I mean, every Wednesday, I believe, we used to feed the people, and they would come up, and it'd be like 200 people in line all day long. We would go from like 8 in the morning till about 4 in the evening, 4 or 5 in the evening, and so many people would come, not just from Tracy. People would come from Modesto, Stockton, even the Bay Area, just to get food, because she would give you like all this produce food, and then she would give you like 2 meats, and then other little things that she would get. It would be about $200 worth of grocery to go home with for the week.
Wow.
And so many people would come in and just thank her and thank us for being there. Because there was a fee, it was $5. You get $5 and you get all that. If you needed more, you give $10, get you 2 boxes. But if you didn't have any money, we would still let you get food. It was just something that we would do to help defray the cost. But other than that, we would just give you food. And sometimes if we have clothes or any products, we would give you products, whatever that is. But people would go away happy. And since we kind of had to stop doing it because we, shut the church down, and we didn't have anywhere to do it. And we're plan on in the future, once we get the church up and built, to start it all over again. We do get food in some from time to time and feed a lot of people. Like we just fed a family last week. My mom made a box and took them over about $300 worth of grocery. If they call us and say we don't have no food, then we will take care of their needs.
So is there anything else that you want to share? Just, this is your time for your voice. It's your voice.
No, I'm very basic. I'm just me. I'm a helper. I like to do whatever I can do to help anybody. If anybody has something that they need and I could do it, I would love to help. I'm very creative. I can create anything. If I see it, I can remake it. Trust me. But I have a little side business I call DJ's Bling Blings. I make baskets. I just made a cupcake bouquet that I did. I can show it to you if I had the picture. Let me see if I had the picture. But I make all kind of things, and I sell it online or whatever I do with it. I sell it. I'm sorry, church folks, but I make blinged out bottles, alcohol bottles. Yeah. They sell for good money and they're beautiful. So this is what I made. If you could see that. Can you see those? Those are cupcakes.
Wow,
yeah, those are cupcakes. I made that for Mother's Day. So yeah, so I make all kind of stuff. Anything I do. That's what I do in my idle time. I make masks, those masks everybody wearing. I make designer masks. So if you want your name on it, whatever, I make those.
Okay, how do we get in touch with you for that then?
Just hit me on Demeda Jo, or my email is demeda@yahoo.com, or Facebook, Demeda Jo.
Okay. So I will put that up on the screen so people can contact you and see all the good stuff that you have. Especially, I know right now people are really into masks, and to be able to have it personalized and blend out, that would be great. And so you can just add some 99.9% of alcohol in there.
Yes, you know what? Yes, but Nancy, I'm sorry, I did go get a lot of alcohol bottles, so I got a lot of those 99%. I found every store that had them.
It's hard to find that, but okay. I said it's taking me off from being bougie now with my specific toilet paper. But okay, be happy to see some in the store. Don't care what name brand. It's like, I'm gonna get that.
That's right.
Well, thank you so much for talking with me today. And so it's great learning and learning a little bit more about you. And so just knowing that it just makes a difference. Your voice out there, even through song, it's very, very important because, as you said, it reaches the heart and soul of people. Very different from just talking straight on than to preaching at people, but being able to listen to the words and listen to that there's gonna be a brighter day. You can, like you said in the song, I can see the sun, I can feel the sun. It's coming, and there's a brighter day that's coming for everyone, no matter what they're going through right now.
Absolutely.
So, thank you so much, and we'll be talking to you soon.
Thanks, Nancy.
Thanks. Goodbye. Thank you again to our guest, Demeda Jo Smith, for joining us and sharing how her voice is truly making a difference and mattering in this world today, going beyond the spoken word through song to be able to touch the heart and the mind of many people. If you'd like more information of how to get in touch with Demeda Jo, please see the information on the screen below. Now, if you've enjoyed our program today, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Your Voice Matters with Nancy Young. And until next time, remember, your voice matters. If you have something positive to share and you would like your voice to be highlighted on Your Voice Matters with Nancy Young, please contact me at YVMwithNancy@gmail.com. And if you've enjoyed this programming, please hit the subscribe button right now. Thank you.